know what Sony had? The Holy Trinity. Leo, Brad, and Margot. Who do you have?
Hello and welcome to Boy Party, the podcast about movies where two major stars share the screen and battle it out for screen time, top billing, the fatter paycheck, and the most acclaim. My name is Lucien Daily, and this week I'm joined by the actor who has been hired to play me in a film. He's shadowing me. He's watching me make hot dogs and pick flowers and coming to my family graduation dinners. It's Shane Kelly.
You're so tall in real life.
Was that what they said, or the opposite?
It's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
We're like the same height.
Yes. We're the same age, which doesn't really. I don't think you'd be playing me in a film or vice versa now. It needs to be somebody 10
I could play
years
you
younger.
at 23.
You could play me at 23. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm like, would the actress being even younger? No, because the whole point of the backstory here is that Julianne Moore was inappropriately old.
Yeah.
If the woman was in her 20s, it'd be different.
Yeah.
May December is this week's film.
Mm-hmm.
And it came second in our September 16 tournament. And it only came second on a technicality. It was in the final against All the President's Men.
Yeah.
There was a tie. Robert Redford died that day.
Yeah.
And All the President's Men won the tie on
Based on
compassionate grounds.
Yeah.
A very weird thing to have happened, that he died on the day of the final of the thing where
Yes.
All the President's Men was in the final. So May December, unfortunately, suffered from Robert Redford dying.
He went there. He put in the extra effort.
He put in the extra effort. Yeah. Come on, Natalie and Julianne. You
no,
pick
please
up
don't
the pace.
die. I like
No,
these
don't
women.
die. But this film was like very popular throughout that whole tournament. It was getting loads and loads of votes. And clearly there was an appetite for us to talk about it, which I thought was really interesting because it, at that point, was less than 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of, I've said before, the one little window we don't actually do that much is like 2022 and 2023. Like the years just before the podcast started.
Yeah.
Where we weren't doing them as new releases, but they've also just come out.
Because I think the discourse kind of exists still in people's minds about when they come out.
It doesn't feel like a novelty.
Current enough.
It's not current, but it's also not something interesting to go back and look at retrospectively.
I think we're probably maybe just at that stage
with
now.
this, yeah. I think this has like just been forgotten by the mainstream in a way that makes it interesting to go back to.
Has Todd Haynes put anything out since then?
No, but he's currently in production on his new film.
Yes.
Which was supposed to shoot last year, which we'll get to in a sec. But yeah, people clearly really like this. I think it's interesting. Its place and culture is interesting because it was a Netflix acquisition at Cannes in 2023.
Yeah.
And was weirdly, though, before Netflix acquired it for every country in the world apart from Britain and Ireland, it had been bought by Sky to be put out in Britain and Ireland.
What?
So this was a Sky original film here. And it was released the same time as it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
It was put out in cinemas for 2 weeks by Sky, and then was put up on Sky Movies. So you wouldn't really have noticed. But it was weirdly this Sky thing. And if you look up, there's like a London premiere where they're standing in front of backdrops with like the Sky logo all over
Were
it.
they're just not... Did Sky put in a monstrous bid for this account?
I don't think it was monstrous. I think that they were the first people in the world to try and buy it before Cannes.
Okay.
And probably the
Did you give it
producers were just like, I don't know, fine. It won't affect us too much if UK has gone to Sky.
Yeah.
Sky bought Ferrari that year as well. They bought a couple of things. There was an interesting little like stretch of Sky prestige projects in 2023 that I think they've basically stopped doing almost immediately since.
Well, you said you saw Ferrari and it was terrible.
Well, Ferrari was terrible,
But this
like,
was well received.
This was well received.
Yeah.
So it came out and it was like a major awards contender.
Yeah.
And it was in all the conversation. I mean, it's got 2 Oscar Best Actress winning stars from the past decade and a big director whose movies do well at the Oscars and whatnot. And it gets Best Picture, Golden Globe nomination. It gets Best Lead for Natalie, supporting for Julianne, and Best Supporting Actor for Charles Melton. Nominations, yeah.
That's a funny split.
It is, but I agree with it.
Really?
If you're not going to put Julianne, if you're not going to put both of them in lead,
Yeah.
well, Natalie's objectively in the movie more, and is the eyes of the audience. She's got way more screen time in this.
Yeah.
I think she does. Charles Melton gets a nomination at the Globes, and he becomes, weirdly, the front runner for 2 weeks for Best Supporting Actor that year.
Yeah.
And it was like actually quite irritating to me and I'm not going to defend this position, but I was riding pretty high on the Robert Downey Jr. train, that I thought it was like a nice thing to give him an Oscar. And I can't really explain why, because I think he's an asshole, and like I don't think he's even that amazing in Oppenheimer.
But he hasn't exactly put in an outstanding body of work.
Yeah, I just like the narrative there. I like the giving the big movie star his moment thing. I don't know what I can say about it.
I think a little bit of it as well was, if we give him an Oscar, he might start doing better
exactly.
stuff.
It felt like it was a good, sending him in the right direction.
It was a prompt to
nudge
do
in the right
this.
direction.
Yeah.
And the thought to me of his Oscar campaign, years in the making, for a great Christopher Nolan movie being dislodged by this young fucking guy I'd never heard of before, just pissed me off. Like, I don't like these guys who come out of nowhere winning an Oscar for their first big performance. It really gets on my nerves. I didn't even like it when it happened with Mikey Madison. I'm like, no, you got to put in a little bit more work here. You need to do a few years of good stuff. It's very rare that there's one breakout performance that I'm like, oh, Oscar, essential here.
Yeah.
And I don't think Charles Melton in this film is particularly revelatory. I think he's decent. We'll come back to him. But so the Oscar nominations morning rolls around, and this film is roundly snubbed with the exception of screenplay. No acting nominations and no picture nomination. And I'm not really sure what happened there. I wasn't really just kind of on the. It didn't manage to capture the zeitgeist in those interim months.
Was it up to Sky to?
No, Netflix. Netflix were running the awards campaign.
Oh, okay.
US. Yeah, this was This was one of Netflix's big awards movie that year.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what Netflix's other Oscar film was that year. So the Oscars that year, you're talking Oppenheimer, Barbie, Anatomy of a Fall, Killers of the Flower Moon.
That was no,
it was Apple.
Oh, that was Apple.
American Fiction. I'm running these off the top of my head. I'm going to pull up the actual list in about 2 seconds. What else? This is not fun for anybody.
No.
The Holdovers.
Yeah.
Maestro was Netflix. Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. So Maestro was the one Netflix movie that got into the Best Picture category and got its lead actor nomination and got a lead actress nomination for Carey Mulligan. So somehow Maestro was able to supersede this as the one Netflix film to succeed that year. Fascinating, because I really like Maestro. I like it more than this. I would argue that Maestro has disappeared from consciousness much faster than this has. Nobody remembers Maestro 3 years later.
No.
I think it's virtually non-existent in people's minds.
People didn't like it when it came out. People don't like self-promotion and deliberate attempts to try and win Oscars by actors that take themselves too seriously.
And I also think people are really, with the exception of you and me and our friends, people don't like these films about like the old music and movie industry, like Blue Moon and
we love that
and stuff. Like, I'm saying I think the culture is not interested in that stuff right now. Like, I think yes, Blue Moon also got 2 Oscar nominations. Maestro got a few, but I think Maestro, Blue Moon, Babylon are not appealing to a particularly wide audience.
No,
and people aren't interested in like this great guy from 100 years ago who wrote all these songs. You know?
Maybe that's just us scream and play the hits. Like,
yeah, maybe. But
our taste is.
But May December is a very different type of thing, and it's yes, as you said, Todd Haynes' most recent film, and it's interesting. We've kind of accidentally, I think, ended up discussing the 3 most sort of the 3 gay directors who have been most welcomed into the Hollywood awards machine in the last 30 years, in the last few months on the show. Gus Van Sant, Bill Condon last week,
Bradley Cooper,
and Todd Haynes. I guess Rob Marshall's kind of the other quadrant of that, but yeah, it's interesting that we're doing Bill Condon and Todd Haynes back to back, although they're completely different, obviously. But they're all a similar generation. And I've seen every Todd Haynes film apart from his first film, Poison. And I wouldn't say he's like one of my guys, but he's incredibly versatile. Everything he's made has been very, very distinct, working across a lot of different genres, and that's an ideal career to me to have as a director, is to be a known name, but all your stuff is completely different. And nobody can point to one thing and go,
yeah, it's tough. You're not giving yourself visual clues to identify your projects by.
But it's really impressive that you can make films that are all so different from one another and still be a well-known name as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
It's sort of the thing that Peter Weir does and Ang Lee does, and he's really good at that. If there's one thing that his films are defined by, it probably is like rich female characters and great lead roles for women and an interest in female psychology. And he's had a number of collaborations with Julianne Moore and also with Cate Blanchett as two of his muses who I think he's managed to but like direct to incredible performances. He's not writing his films by and large, which is interesting as well. This script existed. The actresses were attached. Only then Todd Haynes got involved. After Julianne and Natalie were cast. I think Natalie Portman brought it to him. But his films are in order. Safe, 1995, which is a movie about Julianne Moore becoming terrified of chemicals and definitely doesn't remind me of anyone in my life. She's completely neurotic, won't leave the house, thinks everything's trying to kill her. Really good performance by her. 1998, Velvet Goldmine, which is this movie about like glam rock in London, and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers is playing this like kind of David Bowie, Adam Ant kind of character, and young Christian Bale is in it. Very fun movie about the music world, I'd recommend. 2002, Far From Heaven is like a very traditional Circean mid-century melodrama with Julianne Moore and kind of frustratingly Dennis Quaid as the husband. And I think Dennis Quaid is gay and she has to deal with that her husband is gay, which is an interesting one. It's funny casting. 2007, he does the Bob Dylan movie, I'm Not There, which is just obviously comes up a lot in this podcast because almost every actor is in it. We've discussed it's Bale, Blanchett, Richard Gere, Heath Ledger, Ben Whishaw. And they're all playing different versions of Bob Dylan. Cate Blanchett gets an Oscar nomination for that. And then he doesn't make a movie then for 8 years, but he does make the HBO remake of Mildred Pierce, the Joan Crawford movie with Kate Winslet. And you know who's in that? Brian F. O'Byrne.
Yeah.
And Guy Pearce. I haven't watched that. That's the one thing of his I really want to see, and I'm going to get around to it. But in 2015, he returns to film with Carol, which is obviously really beloved. Frequently on this podcast, I have said negative things about Carol. People don't like when I say negative things about Carol. I'm going to say a negative thing about Carol. I don't like Carol very much. 2017, Wonderstruck. This is like his most forgotten film and maybe my favorite film of his. This is an adaptation of a Brian Selznick book, and Brian Selznick wrote the Hugo Cabaret book that Scorsese turned into Hugo, and he wrote this other book called Wonderstruck, and it's about like a young deaf girl, I don't know, in the past, and a young boy in the present, and they're both on these dual kind of journeys in New York City, and the film cuts back and forth between the two, and some are in black and white and some are in color. A lot of it plays out with like not a lot of dialogue because the girl is deaf, and then they kind of end up in this, you know, tying in together. Michelle Williams and Julianne Moore are in it. And
it sounds like Collateral Beauty to me.
Oh yeah, but it's like, what if Collateral Beauty was good? Yeah, but Collateral Beauty has fucking Will Smith in the middle of it.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like Will Smith.
This is like a beautiful, quiet film with kids.
Yeah.
And Carter Burwell does all of Todd Haynes' scores, apart from May December.
Yeah.
But he does a great job on that. And it's got like these beautiful, like giant, what do you call it? Like a giant kind of, like a model. Is there a word for that? Yeah. Dioramas of New York City and stuff. 2019, he makes Dark Waters, which rules. We talked about it on the Tim Robbins episode.
Watched that recently, yeah.
It's so unlike all his other films as well. Like, if all the other ones are about, like, you know, middle-aged women on these interesting emotional journeys, that's a film about, like...
one of the worst female emotional journeys on film. Like, just disastrous performance from Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, really weird casting of Anne Hathaway, who's completely overqualified to be in that. But maybe it's a continuation of his interest in chemical poisonings from Safe that he makes Dark Waters. But that's, this great, like, journalistic kind of, like, whistleblower movie. It's so different to everything else he made. And then May December. And his current project is called De Noche. And this was the film that was supposed to star Joaquin Phoenix. And it's a 1930s gay story set in Mexico. And Joaquin Phoenix obviously had this very dramatic exit from the film. So this would have been shooting 2 years ago if it had gone ahead, because it was around the time Joker Folie à Deux came out. And Joaquin dropped out, and they had to basically pull the whole thing back together with Pedro Pascal, and it's currently in production. And I don't know much else about it. It's a gay thing with one of our great closeted gay leading men. So
have we got a release date set for this?
No, I mean, it's currently in production,
next year,
so I would imagine next year.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how Pedro Pascal navigates the conversation around his own life. But
I think he's a bit of a step down from Joaquin in terms of casting.
For sure. You're just flopping from one Eddington to another. No, it's a big step down. I mean, I'm not a big Pedro Pascal fan, but it could be amazing. I mean, it
might be the right guy for him.
There's also a movie coming out this year that I don't think you're even aware of. The new Tony Gilroy film, of Michael Clayton fame. Hasn't made a feature film in years. He's got a movie coming out called Behemoth about a songwriter. It's like another Blue Moon Maestro ass thing, and it's Pedro Pascal in the lead role. David Harbour's in there, and it sounds amazing. And it's coming out at Christmas. So.
Sure.
Behemoth,
based on a real guy, or just kind of
I think based on a real guy. I think so. Yeah. And then Todd Haynes also produced all of Kelly Reichardt's movies up till 2016, which is really fun. Huh. So I'm always interested in what he's up to, even though some of his films I find frustrating. Yeah. But he's got a good vision. I know when I was in college, we had a couple of weeks of film. We didn't do that much film in my course in college, but we had one film module where we had this American gay guy teaching us, and he literally was like, I'm going to teach you about Almodovar and Todd Haynes. And I was like, this is so interesting that he's focusing in on these guys. This is like really specific for a course where we're not doing any other film study whatsoever.
Yeah,
I think people in that
was it more of a writing examination than a practical?
It was like a thematic thing. I don't know. We didn't actually watch any films. We just watched clips and looked at stills. It was really weird. It wasn't very well taught, but he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
He was like a Todd Haynes scholar.
Maybe he's just a Julianne Moore fan.
Yeah, maybe. Aren't we all? So May December is loosely based on reality. The case of Mary Kay Letourneau, who was not working in a pet shop. She was a teacher, but she was jailed for child abuse for having a relationship with a student, and then she married him and they had kids.
Yep.
And she died in 2020 at the age of 58, and then this film immediately gets greenlit, which is interesting.
Oh, were they waiting on someone to
maybe
release image and likeness?
Yeah, she did 7.5 years in prison. She looks a little bit like Julianne Moore, but I mean, it is quite a different story. I think the teacher thing and the pet shop thing are very different vibes.
Absolutely.
With the disclaimer that all cases of adults having relationship with teenagers is bad, and I don't approve of any of it, and no one is worse than the other. In the eyes
but
of
a
God.
Workplace romance is a workplace.
I think a teacher preying on a student is a seriously worse situation than the one depicted in May December. That's about as predatory as it gets. I think middle-aged woman working in a pet shop where she's the equal of a teenage boy employee is disturbing, but certainly less.
I have a very stupid
predatory.
Question.
Yeah.
Why was she working in the pet shop?
I think she was like a miserable stay-at-home mother, and she went back to work for the first time.
But she wasn't as successful.
No, she was married to that other guy with the kid, the son, who's played by Corey Michael Smith, right? And then she went back to work in the pet shop to try and have some financial independence or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she meets your man, and she's not happy in her life, and she meets this young, handsome guy, and obviously romance blossoms. It's a creepy, weird situation. It's not quite teacher-student romance. It's a good change in the script.
This should be the clip for the episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think the pet shop thing is really interesting, though, and the scene where Natalie Portman goes back to the pet shop is great. So much of this film is just Natalie Portman's character sitting in the weirdness of what's going on and going to these spaces where
she's trying to absorb as much of it as she can,
and you kind of watch her absorbing it, and you're sort of absorbing it yourself.
Yeah,
and it does capture the feeling of going to a place where a scary thing has happened and trying to picture in your head where the people would be standing and stuff. It's like if you go to somewhere where someone got murdered or a terrible thing happened, and you're like, oh my God, I'm trying to project here onto the memories. This is what Natalie Portman's doing here. She doesn't know these people. She's never been there before. She's arrived at this town, and she's going around.
What's her job?
She's going around trying to research, and clearly she doesn't intend on this film being a complete panic movie, like a nonce panic vehicle.
No, but she wants
it to be complex.
So into the story that she's willing to push herself. You can see it comes out in her lecture scene when she's brought into to kind of give a lesson to a high school class, and she kind of, I don't want to say gets inappropriate. Nothing in her answer is inherently inappropriate. But
one
I
of the
think
kids as a joke is like, you ever got naked in a movie? And the teacher is like, Jonathan, don't ask questions like that. And Natalie Portman is like,
I think she
well,
jumps on
yes,
that.
I have.
I think she jumps in it as an opportunity to kind of toe the line in front of children. And be kind of questionable and describe weird sexual acts in front of children.
She's clearly like a freak herself.
Yeah.
And you learn that properly when she ends up sleeping with Charles Melton.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, now the lines are blurred to a point that I kind of don't even know where they are. Like, you're playing the woman in the film. You're researching her weird relationship with the guy. Of course, the Todd Haynes movie, May December, is going to feature a scene where she sleeps with the real husband. But is it stretching reality too much that she does that? Or
I don't know. I think her sleeping with Charles Melton is more so a reflection of he is completely powerless to these older women and completely traumatized from when he was a child.
But then she's just kind of stepping into the role of the abuser
100%.
herself. Yeah,
absolutely.
Which is
it's
insane.
Completely inappropriate thing to do. He is not enjoying that.
No, he's not enjoying it. He's also not really functioning.
She starts
as
fucking crying at it after because he's like, "Oh, I thought you liked me," and she's like, "No, I'm preparing for a role."
It's an interesting the film that's kind of on the surface around these women's relationship and one trying to model herself after the other, but ultimately, I think why people probably responded to Charles Melton's performance at the time so much is because he is, the secret kind of main character of the film in the sense that it's a film about the exploitation of this guy and how he's ended up absolutely fucked up by all of this shit that's happened to him.
There's also a bizarre element to his character where he looks 25, is 32, but behaves like he's 16. So you kind of don't know which way to look.
His kids are more mature than him.
He has 17-year-old children.
Yeah, and his children are having to kind of parent him.
Yeah,
because he's like clearly got a drinking problem. He's like sitting up on the roof, drinking and smoking, and like behaving really, really adolescent, kind of acting out. I don't know, it's a bit of a Michael Jackson thing going on of like stunted adolescence.
Yeah. No, the film does its best to display this through his bugs.
Yes.
He obviously has he's very into his bugs and his critters and his little farms.
And from when he worked at the pet store.
Oh God, yeah. And there are several scenes of him explaining what the bugs are doing to Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
And honest to God, it's like a 4-year-old is speaking.
Yeah. And then he's telling Natalie Portman that he has a friend in the Facebook group who makes her own bugs or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really upsetting, actually.
And he's so sad. He's puttering around, like head down. He's like, this is boring you, isn't it? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's good. It is a good performance. And
it's
like,
okay.
He doesn't verge into caricature of like a guy with special needs at any point because he's not. He's clearly like an intelligent person. But
he's a radiologist or a doctor.
But he's just completely emotionally fucked up.
Completely wrecked.
Having been like he's like a permanent victim of.
But he was thrust into adulthood at 13, and kind of
he was in all the newspapers and stuff.
Yeah, so he has a 13-year-old's impression of adulthood, and is kind of just stuck with that.
Yeah, and Natalie Portman rocking up and being like, "I'm this beautiful, famous actress. You've seen me do all of these sexy scenes in famous films. Now I'm here and I'm pretending to be your wife." Like,
if there's one thing 13-year-old boys can't handle, it's sexy actresses.
Exactly. It's the most sexually and emotionally Freudian nightmare imaginable to have this actress that he's probably already had a fucking thing for when he was younger, showing up to his house, pretending to be his wife, then sleeping with him just for research purposes, telling him that afterwards. These are evil fucking people. It's so bad. Like, he is the only innocent person in this, and his kids. It's insane that Natalie Portman is brought to the graduation dinner. Like, the daughters are really clearly pissed off about it. It's like, why are you here? And I'm like, exactly, why are you here? Like, somebody should have stopped this. This is ridiculous.
It's a funny film where it doesn't fully buy into everything it's doing itself.
Yeah.
Where within the film it's kind of questioning, why are you at the graduation dinner?
Yeah.
And there's a sense of emptiness towards the end of it where like it felt a bit incomplete.
Yeah. Oh,
she's just kind of like, all right, I'm done my stint here.
I think a lot of scenes feel incomplete. Like I can't imagine truly loving this film and like giving it 5 stars and wanting to rewatch it because it feels like it's stopping short of doing it's not achieving its full potential at any point.
But is that
deliberately?
I think
it's the way the script is constructed, and it's like we're not going to give you satisfying traditional Hollywood emotional beats. Like everything is going to be a little bit stopped short, and you're going to kind of catch your breath and go, "Oh right, okay, we're moving on to something else." So it's keeping you on your toes and it keeps you engaged, but it never really hits. It never hits a climax where you're like, "Okay, I get it. I get what's going on." You're kind of left going like, "Oh right, I think I know what's going on." It's weird. It's like it's unfulfilling by design.
Yeah, like the kind of designed emotional climax of this is Charles Melton breaking down to Julianne Moore and be like, "What if I was not on board with this when I was younger?"
Yeah,
and she's like, "Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
you were in charge."
Yes,
real nasty stuff.
I forgot there's a scene where Natalie Portman calls up the director and says they should cast a sexier actor for the 13-year-old character of Joe. So like, and the film ends then with her doing the scene with the snake with the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is this too simple a reading of it, or is the implication meant to be that she is also attracted to teenage boys and like, or is that too basic a reading of it? Is it more just that she's trying to put herself in the position of Julianne Moore, who got into the situation? I don't know.
No, I think that's a question that kind of makes the audience answer as well. Where like, Charles Melton is kind of handsome Squidward.
Yeah. Oh, he looks so much like handsome Squidward. Yeah.
And like, I think that makes you think that, just maybe this is me being a pervert, but like, you do subconsciously think
he would have been a really
he probably
attractive,
was a good-looking 14-year-old.
Yeah. He would have looked like an adult. And
he would have looked like an adult.
Face. I'm looking up his ethnic mother. Korean. There you go. That answers that. Couldn't figure out if he was Native American or Samoan or Korean or what. Okay, that's interesting.
He has a Korean name.
Yes, the surname is Yu. The kids are called Atherton Yu. What else do we learn about Natalie Portman's character when she's not hanging out with these people? She's on the phone. Is she on the phone to her boyfriend? Or is that always the director?
I think it's always the director.
Or are they the same person? Right, so is she in a relationship with the director? I don't know.
Yeah, we don't get much out of her at all.
It does.
We have a sense that she's kind of not exactly top tier A-list actors.
I think that Natalie Portman is the ideal casting here because I think it's a character that kind of reminds me of Natalie Portman. Like, as in the way that she's kind of engineering the project and kind of operating in a slightly producerial role and making these decisions. It feels to me like Natalie Portman would maybe be the correct analog for this character in real life. I don't know.
Oh, I think it makes sense that kind of messed up.
Like she herself, like Natalie Portman, she was in a film directed by a pedophile as a teenager, and has probably developed something of a, okay, I need to keep an eye out for this type of shit as an adult. From when she was working with Luc Besson.
But I guess if you look at the other roles she's taken in the likes of Black Swan, Vox Lux,
she's always playing these.
She's always playing these kind of women in weird traumatized settings, like Jackie
Kennedy. Yeah, she's great at this.
But again, all big traumatizing events that she kind of has to reckon with. So this, if she did have the chance to play a woman who had a relationship with a child, she probably would jump on that in reality, and she kind of essentially has with this. It's just an extra layer deep.
The character has apparently been on some TV show that everybody knows her for now, but that she's embarrassed about. Some shite. So I'm trying to think of who that would be. I don't know if that's a thing that exists in real life. Like the closest thing to this is in Marge Story. Scarlett Johansson's character is on some shitty TV show, remember? And she's like, I'm a serious stage actor in New York, but in LA I'm on this show called like Looby Lobby World.
She's not like Rose Byrne or someone. Is she?
I'm trying to think. Evan Rachel Wood in Westworld. I'm trying to think of like a really respected film actress who ended up on like a crap streaming show. There's a lot of cases of it. Julianne Moore has done her fair share of crap streaming shows.
Sure.
Natalie Portman has been on one show, which is called Lady in the Lake, which was on HBO about 3 years ago. And I watched about 25 minutes of it the other day, and it was like
the woman in the window and the lady in the train in the lake.
It's set in the 60s, like, so it's got 60s stuff, but I didn't think it was very interesting. She obviously starts talking in the lisp later in the film. They give Julianne Moore a lisp just so that Natalie Portman can then develop the lisp, which I found a little bit like reverse engineering the situation. Yes. Like if Julianne Moore actually had a lisp, now I'm just having horrible flashes of if Sarah Paulson was playing the Julianne Moore character and how this film would be completely unwatchable. Yeah. Maybe it was written for Sarah Paulson in mind, and that's why they put the lisp in there.
It was written into the script.
Sarah Paulson. Now that is an actress I would buy having a relationship with a 13-year-old.
Sorry, is she not married to an 80-year-old?
She's married to an 80-year-old. Yeah, I'm just saying, as in she'd be very convincing.
I don't think you can just apply that in reverse.
No, she'd be fair.
Yeah, your scale is 30 either way.
An older wife, so she'd have a younger husband.
Yeah.
The woman who wrote this film, Sammy Birch, is quite a young writer, and this is her first feature screenplay. And she just kind of, got linked up with these producers and got it made and got an Oscar nomination. Her second produced screenplay, Coyote vs. Acme,
hell yeah,
coming out in August. And her third is a film called Late Fame, directed by Kent Jones, which is meant to be coming out in a few months, which is a film with Willem Dafoe and Greta Lee that I'm really looking forward to. So she's a real one to watch. I think the fucking duality of doing a Todd Haynes character drama and a Looney Tunes comedy back to back is kind of like ideal writer range. I'm like, you are just like gonna keep surprising us, huh? So that's a lot of fun.
There's some funny stuff in this.
There's very funny stuff in it. I mean, in the first 5 minutes, you have the joke about the hot dogs.
Yeah.
It's great. The score is really interesting.
Yep.
It is a reuse of the Michel Legrand music for The Go-Between. And now, apparently, it was readapted and reorchestrated. So you had asked this when we were watching.
Yeah, did they just take the original?
They did record it again.
Yeah, okay.
Marcelo Zarvas dealt with that. But it's a really good score. I watched The Go-Between recently. I watched about 2/3 of The Go-Between. I found it dreadfully dull. But the music is amazing. It's like, dun 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 dun. Like, it's this great, like, yeah, Legrand is a great composer. And I think it adds a lot. I think this film needed some kind of weird out of time element to really pull you in straight away. And I think having a score from like a 60s film really does that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Is there anything else interesting about it? I mean, Todd Haynes does cool stuff as a director. He shoots weird stuff from weird angles. He puts things in and out of focus that I really like. He leaves the camera in one place for a long time. I think he's like one of the best people around to adapt a script like this and not make it feel obvious and keep you surprised the whole time.
It does, yeah. You don't actively feel the gimmicks in it.
Corey Michael Smith, very good in a few
Yep,
scenes.
very good.
Great actor. Obviously, people know him from Saturday Night and Sentimental Value, which we should mention, has a lot in common with this.
It does.
So that's another film where a younger actress rocks up to research a family and play.
I think this is
another
better
person.
than Sentimental Value.
You think this is better than Sentimental Value? I don't think so. But they're not. They're close. Like, I think Sentimental Value is like the relationship in Sentimental Value is less interesting between the father and the daughter because it's very much just like, I don't know.
Oh, but sorry.
I had a bad dad.
The kind of crossover elements here of an actress trying to play another actress.
Yeah.
I think is very much the strongest point of Sentimental Value.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think the Elle Fanning performance in Sentimental Value is like amazing and is better than anything in this. Like, I think the Elle Fanning trying to model herself after Renata and like going around trying to get her handle on this screenplay, working with Stellan to get that movie made. That's all the best stuff in Sentimental Value. And I think that's a more interesting story about filmmaking and about acting than anything in this.
A way better job of recreating what happened in the past through the present kind of actions and production rather than just giving into flashbacks like Sentimental Value.
Yeah, I know. You're right. Yeah. Sentimental Value does
itself
a disservice with the flashbacks and stuff. Yeah.
Piss me off.
There's actually not that many flashbacks in Sentimental Value, though.
But there's 3. Sorry, but it goes through the same story 3 times. Stellan tells the story of the mother. They show it in flashback, and then they do it at the end.
They act it out at the end,
Which I think is... Maybe there are differences between each version of it that I'm kind of skipping out on.
No, this is much more compact and like it cuts out a lot of the fluff. Sentimental Value is absolutely packed with like bonus shit that isn't important.
Yeah,
because it's trying to balance having 4 lead characters. And
there's no Inga in this.
No, this film has like 1.5 lead character. I guess Charles Melton is the Inga of this. He is.
Yeah.
They're similar performances. Sneaky, great scene stealers. Like, her more so than him. But this film could maybe do with someone like her. But, I like these films, I would say, the exact same amount.
Fine.
Yeah. But I think they're super interesting as like a double bill. We did Natalie Portman once. We did her on our Closer episode where I think we can accept everyone was done a disservice. We tried to cram 4 really interesting careers into one episode while also talking about the world's most boring film. I think Julia Roberts needed a second go around. Jude Law got a kind of half-assed one on Contagion. Clive Owen maybe will survive.
Yeah.
But Natalie Portman didn't get much chat on that episode, and I think Natalie Portman's kind of one of our generation's defining movie stars. So
I think so.
If you look at her movie career, it's like there's nothing on here. Okay, there's like maybe 5 films in the last 10 years that are like kind of non-existent. But apart from that stretch, she was all hitters the whole time.
Yeah.
Leon is her first movie. Heat is her second movie. Star Wars is her 5th movie. Like crazy immediate ascension from teenage star. I watched her in a movie called Anywhere But Here with Susan Sarandon, which is a mother-daughter relationship drama set in LA, and they move from the country to LA, and blah, 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 blah.
Did I catch 20 minutes of this when I was walking in the other day? I think so.
It's fine. Young Natalie Portman is delightful. Like, I mean, I'll happily watch these kind of okay movies she was in where she's just like, I'm just trying my best, Mom. I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah. Garden State, I'd like never actually made it to the end of Garden State. I don't have tolerance for Zach Braff. I think we're lucky Garden State didn't completely derail the Natalie Portman project, to be honest. I mean, I attest she's amazing in the Star Wars movies. I think Revenge of the Sith, she's incredible in that. I think that she's...
You said that with a Julianne Moore list.
I did, yeah. That.
Fifth.
She's bouncing off of Hayden Christensen's really frustrating overacting, and she, I think, brings that movie down to ground level in a way that's really impressive. We started watching V for Vendetta recently, didn't we?
Oh, we watched like 15 minutes.
Yeah. I wish I liked it more than I did. She is good in it, but again, she's just kind of reacting. She's like running around at night, and Mr. Vendetta is popping out from walls and being like, hello there. Like, she is phenomenal in a movie I love, Mr. Megorium's Wonder Report.
Oh, yeah.
Where she plays this like surrogate daughter character for Dustin Hoffman, and she's a concert pianist, and it's beautiful. Great film. Everyone should check it out. The last Dustin Hoffman live action role I had seen in a cinema prior to Tuner this week, with the exception of 5 minutes of screen time in Megalopolis, between 2007 and 2026, 19 years, the only time I'd seen Dustin Hoffman's face on a cinema screen in a new release was in Megalopolis for 5 minutes. That is crazy.
Yeah.
I know he was like soft canceled about 8 or 9 years ago. That's not really a justification for why I hadn't seen him in a movie for 20 years in a cinema. Crazy. Meyerowitz obviously is in that stretch, but that didn't get a cinema release here. Sure. Meyerowitz came out in like the 1 year where Netflix weren't putting films in cinemas. It's so annoying. Natalie Portman worked with Jim Sheridan on Brothers, which you could do someday.
Oh, Maguire and Gyllenhaal?
Maguire and Gyllenhaal. We've done enough Gyllenhaal, but I'm like...
We've done him twice?
We've done him twice. Tobey Maguire...
Oh, we did, yeah.
Isn't in a lot of boy parties, and I'd really like to do a Tobey Maguire episode someday, so we're going to have to... We'll come around to Brothers someday. Yeah. And then she wins her Oscar in 2010, which I suppose at that point was like, do.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm looking at the people that are her contemporaries, and I'm like, yeah, but like Scarlett Johansson still hasn't won an Oscar, and it's been 16 years since Natalie Portman did. Like, sometimes these young actresses get very quickly risen up the ranks and get given their moment, and then sometimes it takes a really long time. It's kind of.
But I think we've established before that it gets quite difficult for actresses when they get to the kind of 35 to 55 range.
It's like if Scarlett wants to win an Oscar, she needs to do it when she was 29, or she has to wait till she was 50. Like,
because the roles aren't really there.
Yeah, I don't really know what it's going to take for Scarlett Johansson to win an Oscar.
I would like to...
Maybe a year from now I'm going to sound really stupid. Yeah.
The Oscar-winning actresses by age. I think that'll be...
I'm sure you could find that graph very
easily. Oh, 100%.
I'm sure someone's done it. Yeah, but there's famously a much higher proportion of actresses under 30 who have won than actors under 30 who have won. There's literally one actor under 30 who's won Best Actor. And it's, sorry, two. Dreyfus and Brody. Whereas Best Actress, loads of young women have won. Yeah. Most recently, Mikey Madison, Jennifer Lawrence, loads of people. Scarlett Johansson, this isn't a Scarlett Johansson episode, but it's just frustrating for her. I feel bad for her. I think she's fantastic. She's like the most profitable female star in the world. I don't really understand why they won't just find an excuse to give her one. This year, they could if they wanted to. I mean, I hear she is good in Paper Tiger. We'll see what happens. No Strings Attached and Your Highness back to back in 2011 plus Thor. That's like Natalie.
Is Your Highness the Franco Danny McBride thing?
Yeah. Does Natalie Portman have some sort of weird debt she got into? Why did she make 3 dreadful commercial films in a row straight after the Oscar?
I'm not even like had potential to be good. Like,
no, there was no world
dog shit.
Yeah, no world where Your Highness or No Strings Attached were going to be good. She must have just been waiting for the day where she could start charging 10 million, and then she could.
Yeah.
And then
this is who comes calling when you have 10 million to throw around.
Fine. She's good in the Thor films, but like they're a waste of her time. She's in 3 of them.
It's funny herself, Mila Kunis, come out of Black Swan and immediately do identical
the
films.
Sex comedies, yeah. And then Anne and Jake are doing Love and Other Drugs, which is a slightly elevated version of that. But she's so overqualified to be in the Thor movies. Like, it's very rare. Sorry, I was going to say this, but I'm actually now thinking Amy Adams playing Lois Lane in the Superman films, the exact same thing. They cast an unknown, handsome young guy as the superhero, and then they're like, let's get one of the greatest actresses alive to play the girlfriend. She's not in the 3rd Thor, but then she comes back in the 4th one, which is a movie about her dying of cancer and turning into a superhero herself while she's dying of cancer. Very bizarre. But as I've often noted, movies in which Natalie Portman is sick and or dying always move me. So I was kind of affected by it. 2 Terrence Malick films back to back: Night of Cups, Song to Song. Probably almost won a second Oscar in 2017 for Jackie, 2016. I think she's great in Jackie. Jackie's great. She was beaten by Emma Stone in La La Land, so no complaints from me. But Jackie's a really interesting Pablo Larraín movie that I think people have stopped revisiting now, but it's really worth a watch. And like Billy Crudup is in it, John Hurt is in it, Peter Sarsgaard, loads of guys I like. And she's doing a very mannered thing, and she's doing a voice, but like it's good. And honestly, it's a performance worthy of Julianne Moore. And then in 2018, she does the Alex Garland movie Annihilation, which is like a big budget sci-fi thing with her name above the title, which is cool that she's like able to get that financed. And I watched it last week. I'd never seen it, and I thought it was interesting. It reminded me a lot of The Gorge.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing I said it reminded me of?
Alien or something, no? Or Prometheus?
Prometheus, yeah. It's like Prometheus meets The Gorge. Interesting ideas in it. She's good in it, but it is just a lot of like people walking around with guns looking for aliens.
Like, is Alex Garland our number one guy for putting 40-year-old women as the lead films?
He might be, although his fucking Warfare didn't have a single female speaking part in it, so
no one saw that either.
I know, but you're right. Between that and Civil
War, yeah.
Vox Lux is so cursed and scary and frustrating, but it's worth a watch. It's Brady Corbet.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like The Brutalist, I would recommend checking it out. It's not a film I love, but and then she does a Xavier Dolan film called The Death and Life of John F. Donovan, which is kind of like hacked to bits and barely got released. Lucy in the Sky, everybody hates.
Yeah.
And then after May December, she's in the shitty Guy Ritchie treasure hunt movie Fountain of Youth with John Krasinski, and she has a movie coming out this year that premiered at Sundance called The Gallerist with Jenna Ortega. A desperate gallerist conspires to sell a dead body at Art Basel, Miami. So it's an art industry crime thing.
Sure.
It's meant to be really bad. But it is only 88 minutes long. And the supporting cast includes Divine Joy Randolph, Sterling K. Brown, Zach Galifianakis, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Daniel Bruhl, and Charlie XCX.
Sure.
But yeah, not meant to be very good. So I don't know what she's going to do next. I am always interested to see her taste can sometimes be a little bit odd, eclectic, but I think she is one of the standout talents in her age bracket. So I think she'll continue to work with interesting directors. Julianne Moore, I think we did a pretty thorough conversation on with Brendan on The Room Next Door. As far as I recall, what we did on that episode was that you came on for 20 minutes and talked about The Room Next Door, and then you left, and then I did 25 minutes with Brendan talking about Julianne Moore and Tilda Swinton.
Oh, so I guess I've never personally...
So I'm not sure you went through the Julianne Moore, but there's a lot to get through, so I'm not going to go through it all. No. I'm just going to pick out a few.
Is there any specific...
Well, there's a few things I watched.
We'll just do Julianne Moore pills before.
Yeah, well, like that's the thing. That's all of them. We've kind of come to associate Julianne Moore somewhat unfairly with this over-the-top thing that she's somewhat guilty of doing. In particularly one scene in Magnolia where she's in the pharmacy arguing with that guy that I like. What's his name? The little funny guy with the glasses.
Oh,
I can never remember his name. He's got such a generic name. I'll tell you in about 5 seconds. He's the star of the movie Great World of Sound.
Which, like, we shouldn't take anything away from her for that, because that is very deliberately designed to be ridiculous.
I'm here and I want my medicine.
You're judging me. You're asking me questions.
But I mean, that's what Julianne Moore does best. She's the best in the world at doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does like a bunch of like PTA stuff. there. Well, 2 or 3 in the 90s, and it puts her on the map in a big way. Lebowski, she pops up in. And I watched Neil Jordan's The End of the Affair last week, which I didn't love. It's like real fucking stagey World War II romance with her and Ray Fiennes and Stephen Ray. It's humorless, bleak thing. It's all set in rooms where there's no light, and they're just like, if the bombs fall, I will still love you. And I'm just like, oh, it's fucking miserable. It's based on a great like Graham Greene novel, but I just found it a bummer. She replaces Jodie Foster in the Silence of the Lambs sequel Hannibal. And then works with Todd Haynes, does The Hours.
Jodie Foster worked for Todd Haynes?
Is Jodie Foster with Todd Haynes? No. Jodie Foster doesn't tend to work with good directors these days.
Yeah.
Apart from herself. The Hours I've recently proposed could maybe be a good contender for the final ever episode of Boy Party. I feel like Streep, Kidman, and Moore would kind of sum up a lot of the spirit of the show.
I think so.
And ending on a female film would be nice. We'll get to that when we get to that anyway. Children of Men, I can't remember what she does in Children of Men.
She's in Children of Men.
She's the second build in Children of Men.
She just hangs out with Clive Owen.
I haven't seen it in many, many years. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's in random stuff as well, like Eagle Eye, that I just don't remember her being in. Rebecca Miller, Private Lives of Pipoli, she's in that. And I think is she in another Rebecca Miller as well? She's in the Maggie's Plan with Greta Gerwig and Ethan Hawke. She plays Ethan Hawke's wife in that. Yeah, she should make more stuff with Rebecca Miller. That's a good, like... I want Rebecca Miller to make movies with Marissa Tomei. I want her to make movies with Julianne Moore. I feel like the two of them benefit there.
Yeah.
Adam McGoyan puts her in Chloe. Crazy movie. She hires Amanda Seyfried as a young prostitute. She hires her to basically seduce her husband Liam Neeson to like prove that he's a cheater.
Yeah.
And the movie ends with Amanda Seyfried getting pushed out a window.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's real. Everyone is like acting up to fucking 100 in that. It's like
I caught some of it. It's quite funny.
Please find my husband. Yeah. Her and Annette Bening play a lesbian couple, and the kids are all right. And I'm sure when Brendan listens to this, he's going to text me his favorite quote from The Kids Are All Right, because there's a quote he loves to recite from that film.
Oh, there is, or you just assume?
No, there's a specific, very crass line of dialogue that Brendan loves to read out from that film. Sarah Palin movie Game Change, which I've seen about 5 times. Have you ever watched Game Change?
Ed Harris.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Plays John McCain. Woody Harrelson plays that other fucking guy, and she plays Sarah Palin. It's so watchable. Really fun. Yeah. I would recommend everybody go watch.
I couldn't have told you that was Julianne Moore in that.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. But it's so funny because everyone associated Tina Fey with playing Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
And then Julianne Moore came along and actually does like an incredible job as Sarah Palin. Like that is a really fun watch. I would highly recommend everybody check it out. There's a movie she did called What Maisie Knew that I watched last week, which was an interesting one. It's her and Steve Coogan as a divorced couple, and she's like a musician, and he's like an asshole fucking, I don't know. He's like I can't remember what he does. He's a writer or something. And they are just basically these like shitty parents who get divorced, and their young daughter is like left in the middle of the divorce. But they both have new partners. She's going out with Alexander Skarsgård, and Coogan's going out with some young English woman. And then the two young step parents end up being like really lovely, good parents to the girl, and then they end up getting involved with each other. Okay. And they're just like, fuck Julianne Moore and Steve Coogan. Like we're nicer parents than them. Yeah. And it's a good like Gen X versus millennial parenting thing.
Right.
That I ended up actually thinking was really interesting, even though Julianne Moore is just playing like a panto terrible mother in it.
Yeah.
She's so good in Don John, which I love.
Yes.
So, Scarlett Johansson as well. Great movie. Everyone should watch Don John. I'm not joking. Nonstop with Liam Neeson. Cronenberg, Maps of the Stars. That's big pills energy. And then wins her Oscar that same year for Still Alice, which is an Alzheimer's movie.
Also pills.
Yeah. And then in the wake of her Oscar, does cash in and plays President whatever in the Hunger Games, which is very good.
Hunger Games is soft cashing in.
Hunger Games is the most respectable cashing in a person can do.
It's a book adaptation.
But they're good movies.
And they're good,
and they're interesting, and they're left-wing, and like you see any actor that has like self-respect, the blockbuster they will choose to do is the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, Donald Sutherland, and now Kieran Culkin and Jesse Plemons. Like today's crop of like respected young,
they're good like
Oscar nominees,
political films for kids.
They're good and they're smart, and I like them a lot. Kingsman 2 is a terrible use of her. Awful as the villain in that, who puts people through a mincemeat machine.
She's pretty happy to just be like kind of the third person in a lot.
Yeah,
of
I know.
films.
It's interesting.
It is interesting.
Gloria
She's not rigid with her.
No.
Probably her check.
Yeah,
and
I think she's more She's more flexible than Cate Blanchett or Nicole Kidman.
Absolutely.
In that, I think Nicole Kidman seems to literally just go wherever the money is, and money is on TV. So she's just making loads of TV shows, which is dreadful. I think that Julianne Moore is like 80% feature film run has been successful. Now, she's done a couple of shitty TV shows. She did something 6 months ago. I can't remember what it's called. It's some fucking slop with a bunch of women in a mansion on the poster.
She's not bopping around in the
She's not in Ryan Murphy stuff.
No.
She's not in any Ryan Murphy stuff. She was in some shite that Katie Brady watched that she'll text in about that I can't remember what it was called.
Thanks, Katie.
Gloria Bell is really interesting because it's this guy remaking his own. Sorry, I can't remember this director's name. Sebastian Lelio remaking his own movie in English with her, and he's clearly just like, hey, I made this film in Chile, but I really want to work with Julianne Moore, so I'm just going to make it again with Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
And he has John Turturro playing her lover in it, and her son is played by Michael Cera, and it's just about like the stakes are so low, and I really liked that. It's just like, what if a middle-aged woman had a new boyfriend and he was kind of an asshole? And that's kind of the whole.
It's kind of what One Fine Morning is as well.
Yeah, it kind of is, and it's just full of like disco music, and she's great in it, and Turturro's great, and he's like reading her poetry, but he's like lying to her. I thought it was great. She's actually in The Woman in the Window in a supporting role.
Okay,
it's funny. Dear Evan Hansen as well. 2 Amy Adams things she's in back to back. She's in Jesse Eisenberg directed film When You Finish Saving the World with her and Finn Wolfhard, which I love, which is really really fun mother-son thing. And then The Room Next Door we've talked about, and then the Sydney Sweeney Echo Valley, and otherwise it's a lot of TV.
She does seem like someone who could fall into an Amy Adams run at any point.
She could. But the difference, big difference. She has won an Oscar. Yeah. Amy Adams is desperate to win an Oscar. Yeah. Julianne Moore does not have the desperation that Amy Adams does.
No.
But I think Julianne Moore is great. And
when I like her.
When she won her Oscar in 2015, and I was a teenager, and I'd only seen her in 2 or 3 things, I was like, Julianne Moore, blah 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 blah.
And nothing makes you like a serious dramatic actress more than like just being in 30 Rock for several episodes.
Exactly. Good point. Oh, she's so great in 30 Rock. So yeah, I'm just like great stuff. Oh my god, I'm all talked out. No Letterboxd top 4 mentions for this film.
No one likes it.
But weirdly, everything else from 2023 has been popping up. Like I looked, people are putting Dream Scenario in their top 4s, but not this. I guess it's just a hard film to
have people gone back to that with the drama coming out?
Yeah, maybe. And like I as I was saying, I think this film is kind of hard to love because it's just it leaves you. It's a little bit of what's the phrase I would use? It keeps a bit of distance between you and it. But that might explain it. Now,
do you want to do the BO?
The BO. So it's a Netflix release, so I don't think we can actually find out how much money this film made in its opening weekend, but we can still take a look at the weekend it came out. So this would be when in 2023, October, November-y time. I missed this in cinemas, which I regret. Mm-hmm. I don't know how or why I didn't go. If this came out today, I would be rushing to see it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I was that different of a person 2.5 years ago. Like, I don't know why me in October 2023 wasn't rushing to see this.
Where were you? What was your job?
Were you
in your current job?
Exact same. My life was the same. I lived in this house and I was in the same job. I think there was just like 7 films came out in the space of 3 weeks and I had to make some cuts. I think, Anatomy of a Fall, Killers of the Flower Moon, Dream Scenario. There was a run of a few weeks where there was like lots to see, and this one fell through the cracks for me. Do you got the weekend?
No. Give me a second. Okay. Because it doesn't show up through my usual method of reaching this because it doesn't have its own.
Well, it's November 17th, 2023.
Yeah.
It was in competition at Cannes that year, and it did not win anything.
I thought everything at Cannes wins something.
No, not everything at Cannes wins something. Paper Tiger didn't win anything this year. The big winner at Cannes that year was Anatomy of a Fall. The jury was Ruben Östlund, Paul Dano, Brie Larson, Julia Ducournau, and a few other people. Anatomy of a Fall won the Palm. I'm trying to see what else would have won awards that year. Okay.
The BO.
Yeah.
The BOG number 1. We discussed it a couple of seconds ago. Mm-hmm.
That was The Flower Moon.
Big money making Lionsgate release.
The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Correct.
God, that feels much more recent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good film, yeah.
Next up is a children's sequel, I believe. Probably as well known for its music as it is.
It would be Trolls Band Together.
Correct.
Haven't seen
JT knocking around that.
JT, Anna Kendrick, yeah.
Anna Kendrick.
Troll Party.
Mm-hmm. Oh, next up is a film I don't know.
Okay.
This may not have gotten a release in Ireland because it's got a distinctly American title.
Oh. Thanksgiving. No, this was released here. This is a horror. This is an Eli Roth horror film with Patrick Dempsey.
Fair
about
enough.
a Thanksgiving killer.
Nice.
Yeah, it came out here.
Next up, the Marvel of the time. I think this
The
one
Marvels.
This one is pretty forgotten.
The Marvels.
The Marvels.
Directed by Nia DaCosta.
Oh yeah, of
Bone Temple
fame.
Yeah.
Next up, a film that I cashed in on the popularity of in recent box office draft participation. What sequel did I pick in my recent?
In your Vulture movie
draft. Yeah. Sorry, not box office draft.
What sequel did you pick?
That I was like, the freaks will come out and watch that.
Oh, it would have been Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah. Sorry, no disrespect to the freaks.
I don't know anything about that film.
I don't either.
Matthew Lillard is in it, I think.
Next up is something you went to see in the cinema.
It could be many things.
It could be.
Why is it specifically something I went to see?
Because it's an unusual thing to see in the cinema.
Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Phenomenal stuff.
Next up is a film we were both pretty happy as. I dressed up as a character. I dressed up as a character. The Holdover.
Yeah, good film.
Flying through these.
Grows in my estimation every few weeks.
I think this is a Taika Waititi movie.
This would be Next Goal Wins.
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender. Very quickly forgotten soccer comedy, yeah.
Next up, we got another, in true May December fashion, a nice age gap film here.
In a good way or in a bad way? As in, were people okay with it or no?
No.
People were not okay.
Maybe within the film itself, people didn't really care, but it opened a wider conversation about about the characters in general.
Older man, younger woman.
Yeah. Who's the famous one that people give out about recently?
I can't think of it. And it's an older man and a younger woman, and people give out about it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Real people.
What do you mean real people?
Based on real people.
It's based on real
Yeah, it's
people?
real. Yeah.
What?
It's a biopic. It's kind of.
But it's a biopic of people from previous era.
Yeah.
An older man.
It's nice. It's one of these where like someone will talk about this person like, oh, you know he married a 13-year-old or something.
So he's a musician.
Yeah.
So it's a music biopic from 2023. Priscilla. Oh, that's what the whole movie's about. Like.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
That's a film about that relationship being abusive. Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
It's a criticism of the whole thing. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. It's like a feminist reaffirming thing of Priscilla's life. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Number 10 film we really, really liked. Probably the longest film we watched this year.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Fantastic.
There you go.
Well done.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. God, I am so exhausted from that.
May your Decembers be merry.
May your Decembers be merry. We'll be back next week discussing James Spader and Rob Lowe in the classic Curtis Hanson
that we have
movie,
all seen.
Bad Influence. Thank you for tuning in. Visit boypartypod.com. Follow Boy Party Pod on Instagram. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.